Hello and welcome back to Dragon Quest Wall Tutorials. I'm KoichiCZ, and in this video we're going to do another weapon breakdown. So that is going to be for the weapon found right over here on this character. So this is going to be the Dragon God King staff. So I was finally able to get this weapon through mileage points, and is going to be a bit similar to the Claw of the Dragon Queen. So you're actually going to see me reference that particular weapon throughout this particular video, especially during the actual scoring of this particular weapon. Though the effects of the weapons are actually going to be a bit different, so I want to actually take a deeper look at them. So going over here in terms of its basic stats, so for leveling it to level 50, you're going to have 180 attack power for this particular weapon. Then in terms of the leveling, at level 1 you're going to have plus 20 attack power, also for level 1, plus 5% breath damage if this is equipped on a dragon. At level 35, plus 5% damage to dragons. At level 40, also plus 5% damage to dragons. And then at level 45, plus 2% to breath damage. So this weapon is mainly going to be doing damage against breath, against dragons, so that's actually going to be quite good, especially against the most recent mega monster that is going to be the Dragon God King, which I didn't think about doing in the first place, but off video I actually did get some good results with that. But now I want to actually go and show this in an actual battle on the field, so I'm just going to go ahead and choose, actually this would be really good right here. Okay, so here I'm going to be on my ninja right here. So two things that I want to actually go over. So first, the sudden activation abilities. The first one is going to be right up top, so that is going to be the first sudden activation ability, which is also a domain skill. This is going to be竜神王のKết界, which is going to be Dragon God King's Barrier. This is going to cost 2% of your max MP, and at the start of the battle, the Dragon God King's Barrier domain skill is activated. Allies have a rare chance to have their attention increased when they take an action, while the wielder has a rare chance of lowering the attention of all enemies. So that's going to be that particular ability there. So in this case, you can actually see on the Metal Dark that their attention level is now at -5. So that's actually the effect there. The other sudden activation ability you're going to see here is going to be on the character as well as my ninja as well. As you can see here that there's a buff. This is going to be Waga Shimobe Tachi go Chikara o Kase, which is my servants lend me your strength. This is going to cost 20 MP. So if the wielder is equipped with souls from dragons or question mark type enemies, they will gain increases to some basic stats and will recover HP and MP, pretty much what you saw right at the beginning of the battle. So if you have the max of 4 dragons or question mark enemies, you can have up to 10% with those increases in terms of recovering your HP and MP. So the next ability that I actually want to go over is going to be something that's going to be very similar to the Dragon Claw of the Dragon Queen. So this first one I want to go over is going to be called Ryujino no Shakunetsu, which is going to be the Dragon God King Scorching Breath. This is going to cost 69 MP, and this does massive mirror breath damage to all characters, plus 80 damage to metal types, with the amount of damage done changing depending on the number of enemies. So going to be like this. Okay, so here there's going to be one thing or two things that I can actually go over here. So in this instant, when my character actually took a turn, they actually lowered the attack power or the tension level of another character, and then you actually saw them get a actual little boost to like their breath damage there, so you can see it with that particular icon. So this is actually going to be a challenge. This is going to be the Ryujin no Iko, which is Dragon God King's Majesty. So with this, it's going to cost 3 MP when activated, with the effect of the activated Dragon King God King's barrier. If you lower an enemy's tension 2 times, the next breath attack the wielder does will be 1.2 times more damage. So with that's going to be that particular sudden activate or challenge there. But now what I want to do is go over the next ability, which is going to be found right over here. This is going to be the An no Kokuen, which is going to be Eternal Black Flames. This is also going to cost 69 MP, like the Scorching Breath. This does massive Dormer breath damage to all characters, plus 80 damage to metal types, with the amount of damage done being done changing depending on the number of enemies. So going to be like this. So in this case, you saw that I actually did 96 damage to the metal type enemy, even though that was the effect of the increased breath damage. Since I didn't actually did the regular 80, it did 96 instead. And now back with my ninja again. Here I want to go over another ability, which is going to be found right over here. This is going to be Ryujin no Otakebi, which is going to be the Dragon God King's Roar. So this is going to cost 46 MP. This does a great amount of breath damage to all characters, with a rare chance to lower their tension level, going to be like this. Okay, so next thing that I want to do here is that I actually want to go over another challenge. This challenge is going to be Dignity of the Dragon God King, so Ryujin no Igen. So this is going to cost 2% of your max MP. So what this does, if the wielder successfully lowers the tension of one enemy 3 times with Dragon God King's Roar, the Dragon God King's barrier domain will activate. So here I actually want to go and show that to you. So here we go. Okay, so there after that attack, so that was the 3rd time that I was actually able to lower the tension level of the enemies with Dragon God King's Roar. So that actually did reactivate the domain skill. So that's going to be the challenge there. So again, that's Dignity of the Dragon God King. So I'm going to just go ahead and finish off these enemies. Okay, so that was the new weapon here. So that's the Dragon God King's Staff. So again, this weapon's pretty much going to be geared toward increasing tension levels of your characters and decreasing tension levels of the enemies. So now I want to go ahead and break this particular weapon down. So pretty much in terms of sudden activation and abilities and challenges, I'm going to give this a 4. So the main focus of the sudden activation abilities and challenges is going to be reducing the tension level of the enemy, with the exception of Lend Me Your Strength. So in battles that are going to last long, this would be ideal, since it's still going to take a few turns to lower the tension level of the enemy, but at least 2 to 3 levels. In my case, for this particular battle, it actually took a lot longer than that. You're not always guaranteed lowering the levels of the tension levels of the enemy in terms of using the roar attack, but in terms of the characters in your party increasing their own tension levels, that actually seems to be a lot easier than lowering the tension levels of the enemy. So I'm going to go ahead and give this a 4 instead of an actual 5. But in terms of field battles, this weapon is very useful with its 2 breath attacks that can deal damage to with the amount of damage to the enemies. So as long as they are weak to either Dorma or Mera, so that's pretty much the main thing there. If they're not weak to either of those particular attributes, then they are going to be quite resilient against this particular breath attack. But with the Claw of the Dragon Queen, does have a slight edge over this weapon in the field battle category, since the breath attacks of the weapon can blow enemies away from battle. So it didn't matter if they were weak to the attribute or resist the attribute or not. It didn't matter. It could actually have a chance to blow away the enemies. So this particular weapon cannot do that. So I would say that the Claw of the Dragon Queen is slightly better than that. So which is why I'm going to give field battles 4. Then in terms of metal enemies, I will give this a 5. So again, like the Claw of the Dragon Queen, this weapon utilizes 2 attributes that do breath damage to all enemies, including metal type enemies. But with these new abilities, it is now possible to take out metal enemies with high HP with 1 attack that also does damage to all other enemies as well. So you did see in the battle that I was actually able to do, instead of 80 damage, I was actually able to do 96 damage to the metal dark. So that's actually more than enough damage to actually take it out with 1 hit. The only thing is that I would need to have lowered the tension level of at least 2 enemies in order to get that particular buff on my character. But this definitely is possible, and also with that particular ability, you should be able to take out the Metal King as well with 1 breath attack. So that's why this is going to get a 5. In terms of boss battles, I'm going to give this a 4. So I didn't do a boss battle in this particular video, but in boss battles, this weapon can be very effective depending on the class that's using the weapon, the enemy you are fighting, and also the type of gear you have on. So pretty much I used this weapon against the Dragon God King Mega Monster off video, and I was actually able to do over 200,000 damage with Eternal Black Flames due to various buffs you can get with this weapon, and also by using the unique characteristics of the dragon special class. So that's actually going to be quite good there. Most likely going to be substituting the power pole for this particular weapon in my battles against that particular enemy. Is just actually quite effective. So I'm not sure how well this is going to do in terms of other bosses, but this particular weapon is made for fighting against dragons. So definitely using this against the Dragon God King Mega Monster, this is actually going to work out quite well. Then in terms of future use, I'm going to give it a 4. So for clearing mobs on the field, I have actually replaced this weapon with the Claw of the Dragon Queen, since this weapon can do better damage and does more damage to metal type enemies. This is also going to be a good weapon if you have your main focus, if your main focus is just leveling your characters through field battles. So this weapon is good if you have but if you have a boss that is either weak to Mera or Dorma, then this weapon will be very effective as well. So the total score that I do have for this particular weapon is going to be a 21. So this weapon definitely has a future in the game, but the enemies that you fight are going to have to be weak to either Mera or Dorma, and also need to be very susceptible to breath damage as well. Other than that, this weapon also provides means in increasing your character's tension levels. So that's quite good. And then of course, also besides increasing your tension levels, also decreasing the tension levels of the enemy as well. So that's going to be this weapon there. So besides that, what I want to do next is actually do a soul breakdown, and that is going to be for the Eito soul, which is going to be found right over here. So with the Eito soul, so this is actually going to be a multicolored soul, so a rainbow soul, so it can fit into any slot. So for your stats, you're going to have 165 for your max HP, 79 for your max MP, 111 strength, 108 durability, 41 for your magic power, 39 for healing power, 97 agility, and 101 for your dexterity. So this is actually has pretty good stats if you're going to be doing breath damage. So if you look at the actual abilities here, you get plus 8% to weapon, physical technique, and breath skill damage, plus 4% damage with all attributes, plus 8% damage to dragons, plus 30% curse resistance, plus 2% strength for every 8 levels, and plus 2% dexterity for every 8 levels. So I believe what this means is that for every 8 levels that you have for this particular character, you actually get +2. So since you're 80 levels, that's going to be, I believe, plus 20 in terms of your strength and dexterity in this particular case. So that's actually going to be quite good, and I already have this soul locked in. So with that said, I'm going to go ahead and end this video here. So for the next video, I will be doing the super high difficulty quest for the Dragon Quest 8 Rewalk event. So please stay tuned for that. But with that said, I'm going to go ahead and end this video here. So thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like. If you'd like to see more, please subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.